Now, if you're watching this video, it's probably because you saw or heard me talk about the full story of my first day of seminary. Now, I can remember my first day of seminary just like it was yesterday. I mean, I had already gone through some steps. I felt that God had called me to be a preacher, teacher, pastor, a leader, and I presented myself to my pastor, and he began to already have worked with me. I'd already written some papers and done some research and did some activities and things like that. And so I'd already made it through that whole process, and it was now time for me to start my first day of classes. And man, I was so excited. I was so excited. I remember getting up that day and just thinking, now I'm really going to get equipped to do all that God is calling me. And I was so excited. I remember getting up that morning and getting dressed and just being so excited and eating a little bit of snack or a little bit of breakfast, but really just excited to get out of the house and get down to Brea, where I was attending Golden Gate Baptist Theological Seminary. And on my way down, I made sure that I had the right music. I had gospel music. I wanted music that would just really keep me in the presence of God. I wanted to just worship God all the way while driving from Covina to Brea and just praise God, because I was just really so excited and just feeling like I was full, about to burst. And so I got down to Brea, and I was probably about 30 minutes or maybe a little bit more, 30 or 40 minutes ahead of class time. It was 30 or 40 minutes before class would even start. And so I was on Imperial, and I said, you know what? I only had a little snack for breakfast. Let me stop at this Carl's Jr. and get something to eat. So I went to that Carl's Jr. that's right there across from the mall, and as I'm pulling into where the drive-thru is, I noticed that there's a homeless guy, or a guy that looked to be homeless anyway, that was standing right where the drive-thru lane is. And I remember seeing him and thinking, I don't want to talk to this guy. I don't want to have anything to do with this guy. Rather than go through the drive-thru, what I'm going to do is I'm going to park and walk in this other door so that I won't have to deal with this guy. And so that's what I do. I drive around and I park in this other parking space that's right in front of the restaurant, and I'm preparing to go into the front doors. But guess what happened? The guy that appeared to be homeless, or probably was homeless, moved from where he was standing by the drive-thru entrance to right in front of the front door. And so now I'm looking in my rearview mirror and I can see this guy, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, he moved from the drive-thru to the front door. Now I'm going to have to encounter this guy for real. And I'm thinking, I don't want to talk to this guy. I don't really want to encounter this guy. And the interesting thing is, I really felt that God was calling me out to go and talk to this guy. And so I said, no, I don't want to talk to this guy. And I even felt that God was giving me the very words to say. I felt like God was just saying, hey, excuse me, sir, I'm going in here to get something to eat. Would you like me to get you something? God said, just start with that. And I really felt like God was giving me those words. But I was just so stubborn. I did not want to get out of the car. I did not want to talk to this guy. I did not even want to deal with this guy. And how dare he even move from where he was at the drive-thru lane to where I am now, the front entrance. And so I sat in my car and I just waited. I'm just going to wait him out. I refuse to get out. And again, I feel like God was saying, all you have to do is say this. All you have to do is smile and ask him if you want something to eat. So simple. And I know it was simple. Even then, I thought it was simple. But something in me just did not want to get out of the car and talk to this guy. And pretty soon, he just kind of left and started walking down the street. And I got out and I went in the restaurant. And I ordered my breakfast burrito, I think it was, and came back to my car and sat in it. And that's when it hit me that here I was on the very day that I was going to be getting equipped to do all that God has called me to do. And I was going to take one for Jesus and live a life in submission and humility and really be a servant of God. And here was an opportunity right before me to meet the need of someone, and I failed the test. I failed. And you know that sinking feeling that when it hits you when you know you've just done something that you shouldn't have done? And I probably felt much like Peter did after he denied Jesus. Because in that moment, I felt like such a failure. And I looked up and down the street. I didn't see this guy anymore. And this is one of those times that I wish if I could go back and do it all over again, that I would. But you can't go back. All we can do is be prepared, be ready, and be decided and determined about the next opportunity. And that's what I'm going to encourage you to do. That's what I'm going to encourage you to do. To be ready, be prepared, and be excited about the next opportunity. God forgives our past, and He equips us, prepares us, and challenges us for our future.